So we've made it into another week. And in fact, we crested even into another month of April. So thank you for watching our 3-minute videos. And in this series, we've got 4 videos that we put together for you from this week. And I just want to let you know a couple things. First of all, if you're enjoying our videos, make sure to go to YouTube and follow our channel. If you're listening to this on the podcast, give us a rating and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you have any questions, reach out to us on our website. We've got contact forms everywhere. Give us a question and we will make sure that we have an answer for you. But coming up soon, we're actually going to do each week as a different theme. So we dive deeper into topics for you. So make sure you're on that. But this week, we have a wide variety of things that were inspired from my work with clients. The first one was recommending with passion. So often we get account managers to begin to be able to ask for cross sells, which is a huge milestone and something to be generally just totally applauded. A lot of it's out of their comfort zone, doing something new. So the asks start happening, the quotes start coming, and the closes don't always connect. And that's why we created this video with just some tips on how to really make them connect. Next is manager tips. So I remember when I was a young manager, and all of a sudden one day I looked around and I had a team of 25 people, and I had read books, but I had never been in a managerial role, and nor did the company I work for have a lot of mentorship or guidance on that front. So I share with you all the things I screwed up, messed up, and what to do about it if you're in a similar position. Then the next one is something I like to refer to as the post-meeting meeting, which is the office gossip, the chatter, the negativity. And honestly, I can walk into any agency and within 15 minutes know if the culture is broken. When people spend more time talking to each other and pulling things down and jumping to the worst conclusions, we know we have a broken culture and we need to work on amending the office chatter. Office chatter is often a warning shot for bigger problems inside of an agency. And lastly, we talk a little bit about failure, because we've worked with some agencies recently that feel like they're failing, but the numbers don't prove that. And honestly, it's more of a situation where there's no goals. So it always feels like there's more and there's mistakes. So because there's nothing to kind of give us that roadmap, we always see what we're not doing instead of what we're doing. And we break down that big topic in that video. So I'm excited to bring you the next series of videos all centered around one topic and really try to get pretty concise with it. As always, we love to hear from you. So if you have any suggestions, let us know. But if not, like us on our Apple Podcasts and give us a rating. We love to hear from you. But you don't need to hear from me anymore. We need to get into the videos, right? This video is really important to share with your insurance team if they're into cross-selling, because getting the words out of our mouth for asking is such a huge accomplishment. And we like to take cross-selling into 2 phases. The first is they ask, and the second is how we ask, because how we ask makes a huge difference. If I said, "Can I quote your umbrella?" You're probably gonna be like, "No." If I said, "Hey, because you have a swimming pool, there's some things I really want to go over with you. Think you've got some open exposures we should talk about. May I take a look at that with you?" I say, "Yeah, I want to know more." How we ask is so important. And for many account managers, after they stumble to asking, we need to kind of then polish that part up. And that's exactly what this video covers, is how to take those next steps to get to the outcome after we've gotten through the ask. So let's talk a little bit about how to make your recommendations to clients on cross-sells stick a little harder. This is such a huge opportunity. And the reason it's so huge is that when we recommend something with passion, people feel that. When I say, "Hey, one of the things you might want to have is an umbrella policy," no one's going to buy that. But if I said, "Hey, I noticed you have a swimming pool and I have some concerns and I really want to share them with you about some additional insurance we should talk about," does that have a different impact? And so often when we start working with teams, we get them making the words, and then that's first step. And we applaud everybody for doing it because it's outside of people's comfort zone for sure. But the second step has to be how we say it. The outcome that we're seeking is a sale. It's not just to get the words out of our mouth, right? And when you've got that passion for the coverage, and this is where I think that there's a huge gap sometimes on the frontline team, is that they don't always understand, because maybe they don't purchase an umbrella, they don't purchase flood, they haven't purchased life insurance. But when you do get there and you understand the value, it's so much easier to sell it. And it's not just selling it to say the words, it's selling it because there's a belief behind it. But people feel how you feel. If you feel apathetic towards it, people will feel that way. If you're excited about it, people will feel that way. Your idea is to leave an impact. Even if someone says no, no typically means not right now. So what that means is that we can get to tomorrow and we can go ahead and plant that seed and nurture it and water it for a better day. But it all starts with how we say it. So step 1 is saying it, but then step 2 is not stopping your process there and taking the next leap to say how we say it's going to have a huge impact. We hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you had, go to YouTube and like it, or check out our podcast. We mash up all of our videos every week into one tiny little format. We'll see you soon. Some could argue that being in middle management is the hardest job in the world. You have to make ownership happy and a frontline team happy. You're sort of stuck between two very, very different worlds. And for so many people, managerial training has just kind of not been in existence. As much as we want it to be, we might learn from books or by doing everything the wrong way. And the truth is, if we've never been led by strong leadership, it's sort of like describing being in love. If you've never been in it, it's really hard to get your head around. And so in this session, we actually talk a lot about some of the managerial mistakes I've made so that hopefully you don't have to repeat them. So I want to talk a little bit today about what it takes to be an insurance professional, especially if you're in a leadership role. So all too often, we promote the people who have done a great job and kind of give them the next steps, which is leading a team. But in so many instances, there's no playbook for how to manage an insurance team. It instead kind of goes more on the wing it, fake it till you make it. And the expectations are often very vague. So I want to give you guys some strategies on how to get buy-in from your team, because the littlest things do really matter. The first thing is, I'm still a big believer that you dress for success. This doesn't mean that you have to come in a 3-piece suit, but you should be in compliance with the dress code regulations. In fact, if not, make them a little bit better. You know, when you're in a leadership role, your appearance really does matter. And some people might be watching this right now thinking that that's a very old school thing. It doesn't matter if you wear jeans. I'm actually not talking about jeans. I think you can wear very nice jeans and still be a very professional look. But just your general appearance. If you come in looking tired and haggard, guess what? Your team's going to pick up on that. This goes into the next thing, which is you have to be on time. You know, if you expect your team to be on time, you do too, despite all the other things in life. As a leader, you have to find solutions to those things. Now, yes, every now and again, someone will be a few minutes late, and that's okay, but you shouldn't consistently be late walking in with Dunkin' Donuts. What you need to be doing instead is figuring out your life around the career. And if you're expecting everybody to be on time, guess what? You don't really have the luxury of not. The next thing is you have to own every outcome. If your team's not succeeding, you have to own that, not put the blame game, not point fingers, but embrace it and say, I know where we're standing and this is the plan. When you're in a leadership role, really people are looking for problem solving more than anything. But if it's this, the carrier that, no one has time for that. A repetitive problem isn't a one-off blame game. It's something systematic that needs to be worked on. The next step is being a brand ambassador, which means that in meetings with employees, team members, carrier reps, you're always speaking positively about the agency. This includes something very important. The leadership decision was made. You have to back it outside of that room no matter what. You may not agree, but you're there to execute it. People aren't always looking for your agreement. They're looking for your commitment sometimes. So committing to the process and committing to the plan is incredibly important. And what you have to do is understand the why of everything. So you don't have to say, I don't agree, but I'm going to do it anyway. But you can't say, this is why we're doing it. This is why this is happening. And keep an open mind and an open heart. But if you start poo-pooing a solution or something in the agency, your team will pick up on that and take that to the mattresses for sure. The bottom line in a leadership role, you're under a spotlight whether you like it or not, and you're setting the pace and the tone. And if you're not feeling positive, your team will pick up on that too and become negative. So leaders have a lot on their plate, but you don't need to make it harder on yourself. These small little tips can make a huge difference in the outcomes of your agency. Have you had a moment to check out our agency process packs yet? Well, let me tell you, they're full of such great stuff. First of all, they all include how-to videos. So not long, but 5 minutes that'll help walk you through each process. how great to train your team. Next, they all include a workbook with clear steps on how to tackle a process. The one that we want to help you with right now is how to set goals for every role in your agency. So often we get questions of, well, how do we set a goal for a service person? How do we set a sales goal? How do we set a goal for the non-customer facing team? We want to include them. Well, we're going to help you with a full calculator that backs you into what your agency wants to accomplish. We shouldn't be picking goals out of a hat. It should instead be, I want to be X and my retention is Y, and this is what we need to do. We're very clear in our process pack, say that 10 times fast, that not only do you need a goal, but then you need a plan. And once you're clear on where you want to be, you can create that plan. So head over to our shop, look at the agency process packs. We have several in there for your viewing enjoyment, and you buy them outright. This one happens to be $200. Then you have it forever and ever and ever, and you have access to the videos forever. So what are you waiting for? If your agency is struggling with processes, don't recreate the wheel. Let us help you, and you can buy it at your leisure. We hope to see you as an agency process pack client. And if you have any processes that you don't see there, keep checking, they might be in production, or send us a message. We're always looking to add to the process packs. Have a great day. So one thing that I've been able to recognize as my career is being able to identify a broken culture pretty quickly in an agency. And generally within about 15 minutes, I can spot it because we see a lot of office chatter, gossip, people really focused on the wrong things. Now, broken office culture can come from a variety of different reasons and ways, but the office chatter is often a symptom of a very big, deeper problem. And the chatter is kind of like pouring gasoline on a fire. It keeps perpetuating challenges. Now, the chatters are not in the right, but management has to step in and figure out what the heck is going on. Because if it perpetuates, you're also in an equally terrible situation. So if your agency has a problem with office chatter, which is everybody jumping to the wrong conclusion, and there's a lot of groupthink, take a deep breath. It might be time to unpeel that onion and look for some other symptoms and causes that might be able to break down and get everybody refocused back on doing their job versus chit chat that isn't getting the agency anywhere near ahead or on track to hit their goals.
Hi, Agent. I'm Kelly Donahue-Piro, and I'm the president of Agency Performance Partners, if you've never met me before. And in this 3-minute video, we're going to talk a little bit about how to stop office chatter or gossip or any of the things that are distracting. As the owner of a couple businesses myself, I know it's always really frustrating when I hear people say, I don't have time. But then I look and they're chatting away for 10 minutes at the water cooler. And this is something that you have to be careful of because you don't want this culture of it's not cool to talk to each other, but you do want to make sure that it's respectful to everybody. And so when we're going ahead and we're talking about how to stop the office chatter, there's a few things we need to talk about. Some of the most negative, broken cultures I go into in insurance agencies have all this chatter and they all feel like they're slaves to the business. But how is there so much time to talk if there's so much work to do? A sign of a lot of office gossip is a sign of a broken culture that needs to be addressed. And trust me, we can't go into that in this video. There wouldn't be more than 3 minutes on that front. But what you do need to know is that that's a big warning shot that you need to figure it out. And check out our other 3-minute videos for some solutions on that. The other thing that you can find is what we call the post-meeting meeting. So you have a meeting and then everyone starts congregating. Again, a big sign of a broken culture. The post-meeting meeting really has no place in a successful company because everybody should be getting back to their desks, getting fired up on how to tackle that mission. Next up, client venting. This is another way that the office chatter gets out of hand. Can you believe this guy? Or what the heck? And one person tells 4 people for 5 minutes, and do the math, it's an awful lot of time wasted. And it also breeds negativity. The whole thought process now is all of our customers suck. All of our customers are stupid. All of our customers only care about price. Or all of our carriers are this. And that means that we're getting confirmation bias and everybody's looking for that on their next call, which is a big danger spot. So you have to watch out. Our best tip on the client venting is give people 30 seconds, go back, and in 30 minutes or an hour, come back and check in on them and say, did something positive happen yet? What's the best part about your day? And try to shift their mindset from negative to to positive. But I just look around and say, how much time has been wasted? So much time. And that's unfortunate because at the end of the day, we don't have the luxury of that much time to be wasted. So if there's a lot of office chatter and a lot of office gossip by you, it's time to nip it in the bud, move forward, and stay positive. But all those are warning signs of a really bigger problem in your insurance agency that you need to address, because it's not going to get any better without some intervention.
Next up is failure. None of us like failure. In fact, it's really uncomfortable. But for agencies without clear goals and metrics and tracking, they often feel like all of the things they're not doing, all of the things that are broken, because there is no definition of success. So if you want to live in a world of failure, you don't define success because nothing's ever good enough. But in this video, we really break down the importance of having a plan and goals so that you can define success. And when you start to feel the failure, you can go back and look at metrics that hopefully give you a little bit more guidance and a little bit more kindness. I always like to think of failure as a speed bump, not a destination. And so when you can pick it up, put it back around, have your teachable moment, you now have greater guidance to make it even more ridiculously amazing. So watch this video on how to get over the failure feelings if you have them in your agency. Failure. It's one of those words that we all hate. No one likes to fail. But when you're wearing failure like a winter coat in the summertime, it has an impact in your insurance agency. I've worked with many agencies, and sometimes we walk in and the culture is everyone feels like they're failing. They're drowning, nothing's good enough, they're not hitting the mark. And unfortunately, this is a symptom when the agency has no target, has no plan, because there's nothing to celebrate. One of the questions we always ask during our agency assessment is, what's the last win you remember celebrating? And when it's either I don't, we don't know, I can't remember, that's tough. As leaders, we need to step in the plate, and even if it's mini baby step benchmarks, celebrate those wins because it's fun. And it gives us a reminder that not everything is a disaster. So the first question we have on failure is, who defines that you failed? What is the actual definition of it? Is it not hitting a goal? Well, if there is no goal, it's easy to feel like a failure because we're not hitting anything. Why we feel failure? You know, when we feel failure, it's so heavy, it's so disappointing. We let down our team, ourselves, our spouses, everybody. And the reality is you have to unpack that a lot. Did we really fail? Did we learn something? Did we move the ball forward? But the definition of failure is pretty significant. When I think of failure, I think of the worst, not a hiccup on the map to success. And that's something we have to challenge ourselves with. But most importantly, we need to identify, are we operating in a facts or a feelings mode? The facts of the situation said, we didn't hit our goal, but we got better than we were. The feelings say, I'm a loser. And that's the thing we got to punch in the face and say, no, that's not the truth of the situation. Because we need to buckle up, Buttercup. If you own a business or you're an employee in an agency, you got to think about it. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. We're going to learn from our mistakes and get stronger. But we can't wear them around the office, and we can't say that that's our identity. We have to find solutions to problems and identify little baby step marks that we can be celebratory on. And that's our tip for today. So if you're feeling a little down and out, facts versus feelings, look at the numbers and pick your next target, because life's going to give you a lot of things, and we're either making vodka and lemonade or drinking sour lemons. I think you know which one I'd prefer. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed these 3-minute videos. As we come up to the next section, we're going to be focused on one topic, so keep an eye on that for next week. As always, you can find us on social media, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and even Pinterest if you want to get your daily dose of these videos. Coming soon, for those who'd like to sign up, we will be going back to a daily dose if you sign up, and we'd be happy to send those to you. So watch for more communication on that. Is training your insurance team on your mind? If not, it should be. Your team is your largest investment of the agency. And when they aren't trained with the best practices, you're not exactly leading the team the way you should be. Training can be difficult, right? Sometimes people aren't bought in. There's never enough time, and it can be costly. But we've solved that problem here at Agency Performance Partners. We have an online school with sales training, retention training, time management training, how to turn inbound calls into opportunities, and how to reduce remarketing. And we're adding a new course every single quarter. This can be done on your own time, and the videos are generally under 10 minutes. There's workbooks, role-playing videos, scripts. It's super interactive. For many agencies, they pop the video on during their team meeting and then use the discussion questions in the workbook, so you can take your team meetings to the next level. Oh, and did we mention cost? It's only $245 a month. And what that means is your team gets access to the subscription of training and all the trainings we add. Or if you prefer, we have some trainings you can buy outright. But not training your team, there's no excuse, because now we have a solution to an industry-wide problem. You can hop onto our website and look for the Agency Performance Pack, and that will get you there so that way you can go ahead and start training your team. You can get your subscription right on our website and get access to the courses immediately. Each one even includes a manager section, and many of them include setup guides with AMS 360, Hawksoft, QQ Solutions, and Applied Epic. We're consistently updating those training guides as well. So, what's the excuse now? Just go over to our website, get started today. Any questions? Let us know. We're happy to help. But an untrained team is costing you, your clients, time, money, energy, and stifling your growth. So let's tackle that this quarter. Let's get it going. Hopefully, we'll be welcoming you as a new student in our school.